Oh my god, look how many motherfuckers are taking me!
Well, you read the title correctly. Now, my sweet summer child, what is this run? Well, I'm really not glad you asked. I decided it would be a good idea to limit myself to literal shit and the claw weapons. And well, you might be thinking, wow, Hydro, the claws are really good weapons. And yeah, you're kinda right, if it wasn't for the fact you get them in Earthen Peak. So I was left with two options: cheat and use a normal weapon, or punch everything up until I get either the Dung Pies or claws. Wanna guess what I chose? Anyways, with that said, enjoy. So I start off the run by naming myself the most appropriate thing for this run, and then as any good run goes, I immediately fall off and die. But that's necessary to beat the allegations. And so I do what every man does, and I get the Estus shot, simultaneously forgetting the DS2 controls in the process. And then of course, I hook the baddie, just another part of my plan to beat the allegations. So the one thing that I am going to need is the cat ring. And I'll need that to get down to the Rat Covenant so I can actually buy the ship pies. So my plan was to go beat the Dragon Rider to get some cash. To put it bluntly, that didn't go well. So I thought I knew how to do the Dragon Rider cheese. It turns out I didn't. Brother, just fall. No! How are you not falling? Brother! So after failing again and again, I decided to whip out the trusty YouTube tutorial. And then with my newfound wealth, I bought the cat ring, ready to go into the hole and get the Dung Pies. Oh my god, you're joking. So it turns out, even with the cat ring, I didn't have enough health to survive the drop yet. Fun. So I thought I could go to the last giant just to get some quick cash. And it really set in just how annoying this challenge is going to be. So after attempting to run past everything and climb the ladder, I proceed to get my back blown out. And after finally making it to the bonfire with an unwelcomed guest, I made sure to grab the key along the way, because that gives a free Estus shard, and who doesn't want a free Estus shard? I thought it would also be worth just to see if I could do the Pursuer early. And this is how much damage I did after 3 minutes of fighting him. Yeah, that's not happening. And after using the house key that I just got earlier, I had an epic fight with the skeleton. And claimed my well-deserved Estus shard. It was now time for the first boss fight, the Last Giant, commonly known as the Joe, Butthole Man, whatever. Now usually this fight is very quick, it's whatever, it's an easy fight. However, this took me 7 minutes to beat the first boss.
You what?
And during said 7 minutes, I had probably the only ever close encounter with the Last Giant I will ever have. Oh my god, that took my entire life. Holy hell. And with the money I got from the Last Giant, I decided to just level up Vig as much as I could. And hopefully that'll be enough to drop in the hole. And now that we got in the hole, everything's smooth sailing from now. So everything was in fact not fine. There was no way I was gonna do the rat with that damage. So my next plan was to go fight the Pursuer and get the Ring of Blades, which if you don't know what that does, it increases the physical damage you deal. And now, I thought it would be cheaty to use the crossbows in the arena of the Pursuer that usually just like one-shot him. Using the crossbow usually goes like this. And after giving him diabolical backshots, we get our Ring of Blade. And this ring actually managed to take our damage from 23 all the way to 43. And after being consensually abducted by the bird, we get to an area that we'll come back to later. And after all of that, I come back and attempt the rat once more. I was in this fight for 8 fucking minutes. However, with that attempt in mind, I realized that all I needed was life gems. I had enough damage to do that fight, and to my better judgment, I decided that I would go into the gutter. Now, you might be asking why I came into the gutter, and the main reason is because there's 20 life gems in a chest, and I just felt like it was good to come down here anyway. What in the I just had to include this in the video. How the hell did I manage that? Bro, I somehow found a new skip. My bad. Anyways, after arriving in hell, I had the usual gutter experience. Oh my god, you can't jump. So after finally getting down after like 20 minutes of pain, I got my life gems, and I forgot about the stupid barrels that break your shit. So there goes 5,000. I also got the bonfire to the Black Gulch, because, you know, I'm gonna need to be there anyway. That is foreshadowing. And after all of that, I was finally ready to fight the rats. Brother! Okay, wait. Now just get out. Okay, I've learned that once you hit him, he just immediately goes for a hit after. Alright, wait. I think I'm cooking. Surrounding. Oh, God. Immediately half my health just gone. Dude, look at this! They're all surrounding him! I mean, I've got 30 life gems. There's no way I can't do this. Okay, wait. This is a good opportunity. Bang! Bang! Okay, Dan. No, please. Oh my god. Now, I just want to preface this. I went into this fight at 41 minutes. I got out at almost an hour. This fight was 20 minutes of literally just running around. What is he doing? He's stuck. One. Yes! Yes! Oh my god! I fucking hate you rats! Die! 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 Hell nah! Die! And finally, I could buy shit. I could do something other than punch. And with that out of the way, all I needed now was the claws, which, again, are an earthen peak, God forbid. So I pay this lady my hard-earned souls and make my way to the Huntsman's Coves. I immediately slip and fall and die. Classic. And thankfully, I made it to the bonfire safely and nothing bad happened. And after getting my organs rearranged by some skeletons, I realized that I still need a few more upgrades. So I decided it was a good idea to go try the rod. This was a horrible mistake.
We'll use the power of friendship.
I thought it was a perfect time to try the Dung Pies, but my dumbass didn't think for a second that, maybe the rotten is resistant to poison? I don't know how that didn't cross my mind. Then proceeding to get my bowls burnt off. Oh my god. It was pretty late at night by this point, so I was gonna give it one more attempt before going to bed. And you wanna know what happened? Do you wanna know? Well, let me show you. I suffered through this for 20 minutes just for this. But after another agonizing 20-minute fight, I did it. He's gonna do it again, watch. Oh my god. Yes! Oh my god! I literally have nothing left. I used every single ounce of healing I had. Oh my god. 56k, bro. Oh. And now, with the rotten finally dead, I could get some upgrades and actually do something. At least enough to get the requirement, because it actually does need 10 dexterity. Oh, that's a chunky health bar. Now I could finally go get my claws. However, not before having multiple incidents trying to get Estus shards. Oh my fuck. And like they did to me, I proceed to rearrange their guts. If they had any. And after running around and fisting some skeletons, I finally got them down. Which means now I can move on to the earthen peak. And after getting my quick daily dose in... And now the only thing standing between me and the claws was Jabba the Hutt. But of course, it's Jabba the Hutt. He's easy as hell. I also don't know why the hell I tried to poison him. And after watching him flop around like an idiot for like, I don't know, 10 minutes... After beating on his rolls of fat, killed him pretty easily and without an issue. And now with Jabba the Hutt out of the way, I could finally get my claws. Like, what the fuck, bro? So before actually getting the claws, you need to find Gilligan. He's in Earthen Peak, and he sells you the claws. Now, here's the issue. I've never been to Gilligan here, so I had no idea how to get to him. And getting to him was a pain in the ass. I spent around an hour literally trying to find Gilligan. I could have just looked it up, maybe a tutorial, I don't know. I didn't want to do that, though, since I didn't think it would be this bad. However, I died so many times trying to find Gilligan. It is not even funny. And when I found the location to actually get to him, I just kept dying there anyway. Like, look at this, bro. I'm being chased by a literal army. And also probably the most embarrassing moment in my entire life. Finally, though, what feels like forever, I finally made it to him and got the claws. And next on my chopping block was Mytha. I just went straight into Mytha. However, I am keeping the claws of +0 until I actually struggle. I was just happy to have weapons at this point, so I just went full balls in +0. And turns out that's more than enough. After dealing the damage I was doing with my fists, this is nothing. So after receiving some head from Mytha, I killed her without much issue. Ah. And so with Mytha out of the way and having my claws, it's just a matter of killing all the 4 Great Souls, which are the Rotten, which we've already killed, the Old Iron King, which is in Iron Peak, hell, and the Lost Sinner, which we're going to now. And then finally, it's the Duke's Dear Freya. So we've already got 2 out of 4. So we're actually about halfway to completing the game. So after bullying this guy for no particular reason, to be honest, I start making my way to the Ruin Sentinels, because I didn't want to go through the wharf. Fuck that. So I chose to do the Ruin Sentinels and just take that part. Not before being ganked by a dog and Gorlock. I want to immediately say that this is probably the dumbest experience I've had with the Ruin Sentinels in this game. So you'd expect the Dung Pies to actually be pretty bad, but they're honestly really good. Poison in this game is honestly overpowered. So the thing that actually won me this fight was the Dung Pies. That and also just beating the shit out of them, which again, like every boss so far, took an ungodly amount of time. I will find whoever made this attack. And after cosplaying that one dude from Fortnite, I beat them. And with that, we can move on to the Lost Sinner. And now, when I say I abused the Dung Pies for this, oh, I mean it, alright. So I basically just spent the entire fight dodging and running and throwing shit at him. And my god, it does more damage than I could do in like 3 minutes. And so when that poison ran out, I just threw some more shit at him. And I literally repeated this for the entire fight. I am not joking. And so after giving the Lost Sinner a quick trim, we got him down. And that marks the 2nd Great Soul. Which means now I can move on to Freya. Because God forbid I'm not doing Iron Peak yet. I of course make sure to grab the stamina ring on my way, because this ring is insanely good. And after pulling up on the baddie, I received probably the most bullshit hit I've ever seen in my life. And here's me deciding to try and poison a literal scorpion. They're immune to poison, by the way. So as usual, this fight was pretty boring, so there's not much to show. But basically, I just beat on her until she died. It's as simple as that. And now, I just have to explain this for a second, because on my first playthrough, I did the Rat Covenant, and I had no idea that this was a side effect. I probably should have read a little more, but basically, when you do the Rat Covenant, the enemies in the Doors of Pharos will just not attack you. I had no idea. So I guess this is just a free stroll through the area. And so I decided to actually try the big rat, the like worst boss in all of Souls, just to see how it would go. Just to see if I could get the other Rat Covenant, because I thought, you know, maybe there would be extra drops from the rat. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
You're so fucking stupid. Look at you.
And so I just decide to ignore the rat and make my way to Freya. But of course, before Freya is Congregation. And we all know that's the hardest boss in the game. So after almost losing every ounce of dignity that I have, I just decided I would kill them with shit. And just like normal, the Congregation was complete whatever burger. I mean, it was the hardest boss in the game, my bad. And so after taking a stroll through Spider Hell, I get invaded by Forlorn again. I swear to God, this is the most I've ever been invaded by Forlorn. Maybe it's because I'm just ignoring him every time. I have no idea. But I swear I do not get invaded this much. And so now it was time for the third Great Soul boss. And a quick tip for all you not knowers, you can actually just use a torch in the boss arena and like all the spiders won't hit you and it just makes it kind of a cakewalk. But obviously for this fight I can't abuse the Dung Pies, so we have to get in some spider ussy. And so after being penetrated by the same attack twice in a row, it's not my fault, man. How am I supposed to expect him to do it twice in a row? So this time I just abused the trick of attacking one side, and then once it goes for that double, like, claw slam, you just run to the other side and just rinse and repeat. It's really easy. And so after dodging the spider ussy laser a couple times, we kill her just fine. I gotta say though, the damage of these +0 claws is pretty terrible. The only redeeming thing is the bleed on it, but in this game, bleed and poison do a flat damage. So the harder the bosses get, or the more health they get, the worse that bleed and poison is going to be. And trust me, poison gets pretty slow. Anyway, boss dead. Before moving on though, I made sure to massacre some more spiders, because I was feeling a little bit bloodthirsty, and these spiders can suck my ass. And with that, it's now time to conquer my fear. And God, was it bad. When I tell you Iron Keep was horrible, I fucking mean it. And now this fight is actually interesting, because he is extremely resistant to the damage type that I'm dealing with the fist. So I basically was forced to use Dung Pies. I literally just spammed Dung Pies. And you'd be surprised how well that actually works. And so after just forcing him to smell my shit, I killed him. Thank God. However, somehow it gets worse. Oh my dear God. So you will not believe what I had to do for this area. I had to get unbelievably creative. There was actually no hope of me making it through this area. And you want to know why? Because of this fat fuck. So originally what I tried to do was just make it through using quit outs. However, for some reason, quit outs don't even do what they do in the other games in this game. When you quit out in this game, the enemies keep their positions. So you can't even abuse quit outs. So that was a no-go. And another issue with this part is the fact that you actually have to pull that lever at the end of that hallway. So you would have to kill the turtle, which I literally can't. Unless I was to kill every single enemy in the area. That is foreshadowing so hard. And so I accidentally managed to stumble across this area that you get to from like climbing some ladders and stuff. And this had hope. I could poison the guys from this balcony. And so I could go kill the turtle by himself without being ganked. This was my only hope. And so I'll quickly go over how I managed to pull this off. So first I start by baiting these two soldiers out, and I keep them out until this turtle can break this platform. And then once the platform is broken, I go pull the lever. If I don't get the turtle to break the thing, then I get interrupted on this lever. And when you pull the lever, it unlocks this ladder, which you then use to get up to this room, which has a healing pool, by the way. And after that, you have to make it down this platforming section, which of course has archers shooting at you, because this is Dark Souls 2, remember. And once down, I would just throw Dung Pies at these two soldiers, so they don't jump down and gank me while I'm fighting the turtle. And so finally, once I did it without dying, but I was able to finally confront the turtle, and I just decided to Dung Pie him, because that's the easiest way to kill him. I was not taking any chances. So finally, I was able to make it to this bonfire. You do not have any idea how relieved I was. Which means I could finally fight the old Iron King. And after all that, you'd expect a difficult boss. However, no. This was like one of the easiest bosses so far. I'm telling you, Dung Pies are like actually metagaming. I should do a run using only Dung Pies. And there we go. We shat on the old Iron King. Get it? Do you guys get it? Anyways, after talking to Hairy Groot, I make my way to my favorite looking area in this game. And probably one of my favorite looking in any of the games. Drangleic Castle. Oh boy. So first I start by giving these guys a prostate exam, because you need to open the door. And once inside, I actually realized that this is going to be harder than I thought. The enemies become extremely tanky. And a lot of them are just straight up immune to poison, so that's kind of out of the question. So I pull up on the twin dragon riders and give them a face full of shit. I have to say though, my hatred for this archer knows no bounds. And after them, I just continue through the castle. However, I do actually get stuck at this section, because these guys are for some reason just immune to poison, and killing them is like out of the question when they annihilate you in less than 2 seconds. And so after a couple deaths, I actually decide to use the Bright Bug that I bought earlier on. And that's all I really needed to beat this. And I make sure to kill this horse on the way, because this horse drops the back shot ring, which basically reduces damage from behind, aka back shot. It's pretty self-explanatory. And so after taking one look at the Kink Master himself, it's onto the Looking Glass Knight. And now the Looking Glass Knight was actually surprisingly easy. I was expecting him to be like at least pretty resistant to the poison. However, no, he just kind of took it like a champ. I kind of soiled his shiny armor, huh? He does, however, summon a little minion, but I'm gonna be honest, I literally just completely ignored it and just kept poisoning him. I cheesed him pretty badly, I'll admit. However, I am a rat after all, so it's lore accurate. And unfortunately, we're at a part almost as bad as Iron Keep. I was dreading this place from the very beginning, because this is possibly the worst area in all of Souls. Ever. And boy, did it not disappoint. I won't do a death counter because I can't be fucked, to be honest, but I died a lot. At least 20 times. Thankfully, I didn't need to get as creative for this one as Iron Keep. I just had to bait out the enemies and kill them one by one, pretty much. That was the only way I could make it through. So I started by leading this guy into the house, and then just giving him back shots. And then attempted to do it with these two. However, they kind of never listen. So I just shut the door in their face. Get out! And now that's the first part of Shrine of Amana done. However, there's a part that's even worse. And can someone explain to me why they decided to put these idiots just in the doorway for literally no reason? Who designed this shit? And after forgetting about gravity twice, I made it to the Semen of Dung. And I honestly expected this boss to be immune to poison, but he's decently weak to it. And this fight was a cakewalk. I mean, it's usually not very difficult, but this was even easier than normal. Yes. Oh. And so now we're getting really close to beating the game. The only bosses left are Velstadt, the Giant Lord, Throne Watcher and Defender, and of course the final boss. Thankfully, most of these final areas I can literally just run through without actually fighting anything, unlike Iron Keep and Shrine of Amana. However, I did end up having like a 10-minute duel with this stupid invader because I kept getting interrupted by a goddamn zombie. You can be. You're such a prick. Yes. And now, we're on to probably my favorite base game boss. I was perfectly fine if I wasn't able to poison this guy. But it turns out, yep, you can poison him. So, you know how this goes. But boy, does he hurt! He hits harder than an alcoholic driver. And after being pounded a couple more times, and of course, poisoning him, we get the dub. Oh, yo, I didn't realize. Oh, shit. I didn't even notice he was low. Damn. Dub-bend, man. And so I collect the King's Ring, which is needed to beat the game. And so here I actually learned something very valuable about the Dung Pies. You can actually poison the hidden mimics. So that's something I'm gonna be abusing. I, of course, also had to duel the rat monkeys, whatever the hell these things are. And after realizing that I'm not the only one with flasks, like, man, that's my thing. You can't be stealing my thing. You have another? Yeah, you deserve that poison, buddy. Yeah. How's that flask treating ya? You have another? Holy shit. Go on with it. And so after taking a stroll through Aldia's place, we get to the Guardian Dragon, which is a boss. That's as far as I can go. I literally have nothing to show about this fight. Me looking at Shanks is more interesting than this fight. And after just spamming him with poison and the claws, he's dead like that. What do you want me to say? And somehow I actually remembered where to go in this dragon place. I was not expecting to remember this at all. This shit is like a maze, bro. So after just speeding through the Dragon Shrine and just getting the Mist Heart, I just got the hell out of there. I'm not fighting the dragon. You cannot pay me enough. And so I actually couldn't remember where the Giant Lord is, so I ran around like an idiot for a little bit, until I finally stumbled across it. However, it wouldn't actually let me enter, so I thought I needed another Giant Soul, but it turns out because I was invaded, I just literally couldn't enter it. I didn't know that. And so after jumping off a cliff to get rid of the invader, because that's what everyone does, right? Right? I was finally able to enter it. And the Giant Lord was actually scarier than I thought he was gonna be. He hurts. But as inevitable as Johnny Somali getting arrested, I beat him. And now, it is time for the final boss of the game. Well, the second final boss, and then the final boss. They're kind of like one boss. Final boss time! Are you fucking kidding? So yeah, turns out they're pretty hard. So I went and grabbed the dragon ring and just some general upgrades to hopefully make it a little easier. And so basically my strategy for this fight was to poison one, then poison the other. Because these boss have a mechanic that if you kill one of them, like 20 seconds later, the other one will actually revive them to full health. So you basically have to kill them together. So the Dung Pies were actually pretty perfect for this fight. And it turned out to actually be better than just fighting them normally. It is still a really difficult fight, especially once they whip out the lightning. Now. 3, 4. Okay, they're both dead. Insane for this fight. What? Damn, okay. That's like easier than just doing it normally. Holy hell. Alright. And now it was time for the final boss.
Now, be one with dark.
And so the thing about this boss is it is extremely resistant to poison. However, it's not immune. It only takes 7 Dung Pies to poison her. Thankfully, her attacks are very easy to dodge. She's honestly one of the more disappointing final bosses in the series. I definitely was disappointed on my first playthrough, I'll tell you that much. I had to be extremely careful in this fight, because at any moment she could get 2 hits off and just kill me. Yes, she literally 2-shots me. If her attacks weren't easy to dodge, she would be an extremely scary boss. Thankfully, she's slower than a grandmother trying to cross the road. Can you attack? I don't like this. What are you doing? Why? What? So I've come to the conclusion that she's immune to bleed. Uh-oh. Alright, you're done, full lady. Boom! Ow. Yeah, no way I'm done. I'm just saying that. Screw you. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 6. I think I need 1 more. Yep, GG, Nassandra. Fuck you. You old hag. Die! 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 Yes! And there we go. Final boss down. Shanks has beaten the allegations. Yes, Shanks, take the throne. Oh god, he's hideous. I mean, he looks like a rat. But if you've watched this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is probably the video I've put the most effort into, and I probably will do more challenge runs. If you have any ideas for any challenge runs, let me know and I'd love to do them.